What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. I know it's been a minute, but we back, and I promise you, y'all, I'm gonna be dropping a lot of new content. So while I'm there, please make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, turn your notification bell on, so that also you'll be notified every single time I drop those recipes. Hit that like button, y'all, and let's get into this video. All right, guys. So today I'm gonna be making a seafood boiled gumbo. That's right, a seafood boiled gumbo, and I'm doing this my way, y'all. Just all the things that are traditionally in a seafood boil. Gumbo style, you know, Louisiana gumbo style. And y'all, the gumbo, please don't do it, y'all. This is my way. I understand everybody has their way of doing things, but this is how I'm gonna do it. So y'all, I just started out by getting my veggies chopped up, getting everything prepped. I got my all my colored bell peppers, white onion, got some celery. You know, those are all the traditional things that go in a gumbo as far as veggies go. I got some hot smoked sausage that I sliced up. Also, I have some corn. Remember, this is seafood boiled gumbo. So I have some corn that I split in half. Also have some red potatoes, approximately about 8 to 10 of those that I split in half, real small. So those are all my veggies, yo. I had them all diced up, probably about really even. And then I'm gonna get my hot pan ready, and I'm gonna sear my sausage off because I like to build flavor. And I mean, you could just put this all into your pot once you have your roux and your sauce built, but I like to go ahead and sear it off, get a hard sear on there, and then let it simmer. That just builds the flavor for me. And I just got the pan really hot and just seared it until I had a really dark crust on most of the sausages, like so, just like that. I also seared my corn off, y'all. Got a little char on that, bring out the natural sweetness in the corn, all working toward a flavorful gumbo, yo. So once that was done, I got my veggies, my red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, green bell pepper, and my white onion and celery, and put it in the large stock pot, y'all, with a little bit of oil. With this many veggies, it's gonna sweat first. So you're gonna let it sweat all that water out, and then it's gonna start to evaporate to where you can get some color on them and char them up just a little bit. And so it's gonna take a little minute with as many veggies as I'm using. If you wanted to cut this recipe in half, you definitely could. Just use 1 bell pepper of each color instead of 2. Right here, I went in with some no salt Tony's Cajun seasoning, and that allows me to be really heavy-handed. And I put it on to my my vegetable medley while it was still in the hot pan. That way, it would bloom some of those spices up and really create a deeper flavor. So I removed all of that from the pan, and it's time to make our roux. I'm going for a semi-dark chocolate roux, not as dark as maybe a traditional gumbo would, but close to it. So I'm going in with 2 sticks of butter. That's approximately a cup of butter. I'm gonna match that with an even amount of all-purpose flour, y'all. So with that being said, I have it on to a medium to low heat, pretty much medium, y'all. You don't want your heat up too high. I did reduce the heat while I was at the end of searing my veggies because I wanted my pot to already start to, you know, get not as hot. Because if you burn your roux, you have to start over. It's not gonna be good. It's gonna mess up the flavor of the whole entire gumbo, and you don't want that to happen. So right here, the key is to just keep mixing, keep stirring over this medium-low heat until you get the desired color that you want. It's just gonna give you a richer, more consistent gumbo. And this is not where I wanted to be at, so I just kept on stirring. Y'all seen a time-lapse video, but this pretty much took a little over 10 minutes. I think I was just very cautious because I did not want to go through the process again. So I probably could have had my heat increase a little bit more, but you know, better safe than sorry. Also, like I said, if you're not making a pot this big, you can use less. Use 1 stick and use half a cup of flour instead of a whole cup, you know, and then that'll make less of a pot. This is a really huge pot that I'm making because I have a lot of seafood. And so, like I said, just consistently stirring. You might see me stop here and there. I just have my camera going. I cut out a lot of it in between, but it was really just keep on stirring until I got the consistency I wanted. I did not want my flour to burn in there. I didn't want it to break. So I just kept on with my whisk, stirring, and I'm getting closer to the color consistency. This is where I stopped at. This is what I wanted. Like I said, it's a semi-chocolate roux. Chocolate is just referring to the color. Some gumbos do take it, you know, really dark, a lot darker than this. And a pre-made roux for gumbos, you usually would go darker than this. So I'm going in with seafood stock. I'm just going to continue to stir little by little, adding in my seafood stock. You can use chicken broth or, you know, chicken stock if you want. Totally a preference. But since I'm making a seafood boiled gumbo or a seafood gumbo, I just use seafood stock because I wanted more of a seafood flavor. That's just, you know, that's all personal preference. I'm going to use 3 of those boxes in total. I just started off with the first 2, I believe. And then, no, I added the first 1. And then I'm going to go in with my, this is my juicy crab seasoning that I do love. You don't have to use this. You can use any of the traditional seasonings that go in a seafood boil, as if you were making a butter sauce. That's just me. I use approximately probably a 1/4 cup of the juicy crab seasoning. Then I went in with a little bit of that Zatarain's crab boil seasoning. Not too much on that because it's really really strong, really salty, and I do not want to make my pot too salty. Also added a little bit more of that no salt Tony's Cajun seasoning. I can be really handy with that. Only thing you have to worry about is the spice, because it does have spice in it. So, I mean, if you get too heavy-handed, you're increasing the spice in the pot. From there, I'm gonna go in with this roasted garlic paste. I use pretty much the whole tube. I had already used a little bit out in the previous recipe, but it wasn't really much at all. So I used all of that in there because I really like that roasted garlic flavor, and it really adds a lot to the seafood. I'm just gonna whisk all that together constantly, you know, every now and then, making sure I whisk and combine everything, because I really want this to stay together and not break. After that, I'm gonna go in with all those veggies that I cooked down, the bell peppers, the onion, the celery, pretty much the trio that usually goes in gumbo, very important. And I just, once again, just combining that together. You see, this is pretty thick right here. And from there, I'm gonna add in my corn, I'm gonna add in my sausage, and I'm gonna add in my potatoes. All these things, I'm gonna reduce the heat down once I get it to a boil. And I'm gonna let these simmer for a while. The potatoes are completely raw, so as well as the corn, so those are gonna cook. The sausage is just gonna, you know, leach all that flavor and all the seasonings that it has in it into the pot, and it's just gonna make it better tasting. This is, I'm using hot smoked sausage, and trust me, it does have some heat to it, y'all. I'm just giving this a stir, and then I ended up adding another box of the seafood broth. It was 3 boxes in all. Now it's gonna give me my desired consistency and salt level. So this is probably after about 45 minutes to an hour of it simmering on a lower heat, and I just pretty much just doing a touch test with clean hands, just to make sure my potatoes are tender and well cooked to where I want them, because that's really the issue. And from here, I'd reduce my pot to low and actually turn my pot off once I got everything in there. Adding my lobster tail, I added some big jumbo prawns in there, and then I'm gonna add in some crab as well. You can add in whatever you want to. I debated whether I was gonna add in actual lump crab meat like you would a seafood gumbo, or you can add in scallops. You can add in whatever you want to. This is just my choice. I actually went in with some snow crab and some king crab legs at the end, right here, as you can see. Then I just kind of like gave it a little light stir and submerged them all the way in the liquid before I turned it off. Just made sure everything was in there and everything was gonna be able to continue cooking. It's seafood, so yeah, I didn't want to do too much. It literally only takes about 5 minutes for the seafood to cook, especially if it's already thawed out. All right, y'all, so this is the finished product. Y'all, I did transfer it to another pot just for better presentation's sake. I recommend trying this recipe 100%, especially if your family likes seafood. This is a great recipe. This is awesome to eat, y'all. I thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I love you so much, and I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video. Stay tuned. Peace.